The Senate has never spent $2 trillion in a more haphazard way or through a less rigorous process. Voters gave Senate Democrats the slimmest possible majority. Voters picked a president who promised unity and bipartisanship. Democrats' response is to ram through what they call, quote, the most progressive domestic legislation in a generation on a razor-thin majority in both houses. The right path was obvious. We followed it 5 times last year. 5 rescue packages totaling $4 trillion, and none of them got fewer than 90 votes. The Senate wrote the CARES Act, Republicans and Democrats shoulder to shoulder. That was the road to real pandemic relief, but Democrats actually wanted, Mr. President, something else. They explained their intent very clearly: to exploit this crisis, quote, as a tremendous opportunity to restructure things to fit our vision. That's how you get this massive bill with only 1% for vaccinations. That ignores the science on reopening schools, that's stuffed with non-COVID related spending that even top liberal economists say is wrong for the recovery. Democrats inherited a tide that is already turning. 2021 is already set to be our comeback year because the American people's resilience and the bipartisan foundation that we laid last year. We could have worked together to speed up victory, but our Democratic colleagues made a decision. Their top priority wasn't pandemic relief, it was their Washington wish list. So, Mr. President and colleagues, I strongly recommend a no vote.
The clerk will call. The question then is on passage of the bill as amended. Is there a sufficient second? There is a sufficient second. The clerk will call the roll.
Ms. Baldwin. Ms. Baldwin, aye. Mr. Barrasso.
Elizabeth. Oops.
Mr. Barrasso, no. Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett, aye. Mrs. Blackburn. Mrs. Blackburn, no. Mr. Blumenthal. Mr. Blumenthal, aye. Mr. Blunt. Mr. Blunt, no. Mr. Booker. Mr. Booker, aye. Mr. Bozeman. Mr. Bozeman,